Hello everyone and welcome to another Roaring Records tutorial. We're back today to talk about using the sampler, in this case the Quick Sampler, with Logic Pro 10.6. So it's getting better with 10.7. It was a good switch from 10.5 to the sampler they use in 10.6, but I think you'll find this very helpful, especially the Quick Sampler in this one. So let's dive right in. We've got a Logic project open, and the first thing I want to show you is just how to get the sampler up in your Logic. So if you make a new software instrument, that was a right click in this open space and I selected software instrument, or hit the plus sign and select software instrument. By the way, if yours are pictures here and not words, you need to go in to your Logic preferences and turn on all your advanced tools because you're missing out on things. So I have my software instrument created. You could use any of those methods. And then I want to make sure I'm looking at my track inspector. That's this little I button right here, and that will open the track inspector, which shows you all the fun things that make the sound you're hearing in Logic. So right now the instrument slot is set to be electric piano. We don't want it to be the electric piano, so we'll click on the arrows. Again, if you hover your mouse over that, you'll see it switch to a power button, the buttons to get inside and change the electric pianos, or these little drop-down arrows. We're going to select the drop-down arrows, and then we're going to select the Quick Sampler. Bum, bum, bum. That brings up this little screen. And what it's asking us to do is to actually load in a sample. So here's what I'm going to do. My sample is on my desktop, so I'm going to click up here in this little window at the top that looks like a media folder. It pulls up your documentation. You find where your samples are, wherever they are for you, and then you can just click and drag. And the first one that I'm going to click and drag is this one. Now you'll see the sample right here. And one thing that's important if you're doing a one-hit kind of sample like this is to make sure there's no dead space at the beginning. If there is, then you need to move that and trim the dead space because you don't want it to wait and be delayed when you hit your MIDI key to be able to access this. Now I've got musical typing set up right here so that you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing and pressing as this goes. So right now we're set to be the classic Quick Sampler right now. So if I play a key, oh, that was really, really low. And you'll hear that it plays that sample, and specifically this time, as soon as I let off the key, which you can see what I'm doing right here with my typing keyboard, as soon as I let off the key, it's going to allow that sample to stop. And it's actually being controlled by your ADSR envelope out here as well. Now, if I play up a note, it actually goes to the higher note, which is really cool. And you'll see right here, it says C3. Well, that just means that C3, in this case, the A denoted by octave C3, is the original sound. So if I go up and down from C3, so now C3 is K, then I can actually play different pitches of that exact original hit. It speeds them up and slows them down to be able to create different pitches. If I change it from classic to one shot, now it plays the whole sound without stopping. So even though I just tap the key, it plays the whole sound through, which is really cool. So I can make my own little bass line with that sound next. I would go back to classic if I was going to do that. And all I would have to do is hit then record. And boom, I have my little bass line idea recorded. All well and fun. Totally cool. What else could you do with that? You could make a quick sampler that was maybe like a drum sound, which would be another really fun way to go about uh, adding a drum sound. Again, I'm going to go in here and let's see. I've got like a kick sample and key C3. And it's loaded that in. Drum sounds probably better as one slices. That hangs on a little too long. You just have an issue with it dropping down there, so you could actually change your attack and decay. So you got the sound that you wanted and didn't have that click at the end. So it's really cool, really fun way to explore a lot of different things. Now, the last one I want to show you is actually I've taken this sound right here. I've taken that exact sound and I have now converted it to a wave file by bouncing it. So I'm going to create my sampler again, go in, and that's what happens when you don't click the arrows. You get into the adjustments. Go into my quick sampler and select my piano riff and bring it over, and I'm going to let optimize. Now, if I just play, now it has selected key G2 based on the pitch that it was because of the chords that were selected. If I play key G2, it's going to play that sample. And it's not one shot. If I did do one shot, it would play it straight through. Even though I just barely tapped it. So, that's not what I want to get here to. I want to get here to the slice feature. And the slice feature is really cool. So all I did was hit slice, and then it began to chop up this sample based on the mode, and that is transient. And you can change the sensitivity if you want to be able to make it more or less susceptible to the transients. So I'm going to leave it on about 50% sensitivity. Now, if I play, and I've got back down to C1, so now I'm on my piano. If I play this, then this key is just that bit of the sample. So you're getting all those different features when you do that. Again, you can adjust your ADSR down here to react differently, so to what you need. But if you want to get that whole sample, you're probably going to have to leave it up a bit more to be able to get that. So you can slice it by transients, or you can change your slice mode to beat divisions. And it's like, oh, we're going to slice it by every eighth note. That's going to get a little crazy. Or we can slice it by like every quarter note. Or we can slice it all the way up to every measure. And I think this is a pretty nice way to do it. So you can get like a... And if you're better at playing it than I just was, then you get this nice movement around where you're actually taking bits and pieces of your sample and putting them in a new order. And that begins to be a huge sense of creativity that you get. Again, you can go into equal divisions. It's kind of nice. So So you can get all sorts of different stuff as you begin to get in there and play with this and understand how it's going. Equal divisions. You can put manual divisions and actually split them exactly where you want them. Move them around to the different letters. You'll see it assign a letter to each one down here on the bottom. A lot of fun. A lot of fun to get in there with different loops and everything. This is another way to be super creative with the loops that already exist in Logic. Again, I hope you found this helpful. Get in there and explore, make your own sounds, chop up some vocals from other songs that you already like and know, or some like sax solos from stuff, or whatever. You'll find something fun to do with this. Get out there, explore the Quick Sampler, see if you like it. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a good day, y'all.